There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another fun episode of the Insurance Bro Show. We have an awesome show and a very awesome guest for y'all, so stay tuned.
The Insurance Bro Show is a podcast for agents who want to grow their agency and be titans of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the Insurance Bro, James Cias.
All right. And for all of you insurance pros out there, let's dive into another fun episode. But before we do, just a quick reminder to please subscribe, rate, and review on whichever platform it is that you're listening to us on today. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and drop a review and help other like-minded insurance agents find value from our awesome guests as we rise up in those podcast rankings. I will sincerely appreciate every single one of you for it. And if you want to be a guest on the show, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest. Would love to have you on and learn from you as well. Don't forget also to follow me on all social media at Insurance Bro Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're super excited. We're super honored to bring another awesome guest to the Insurance Bro Show. Never has the need for digital marketing meant more to the insurance industry than throughout the course of this crazy year. As soon as the world stopped spinning, agents everywhere learned that they need to adapt their marketing strategies to keep up with the times. Our guest today is well ahead of that curve. She is a natural marketing guru, and after being forced to shut down her insurance agency, digital marketing became her bread and butter. From agency owner to digital marketing guru, our guest has an incredible story to share. Tune in today to learn from one of the industry's best on how you too can set up your agency for digital marketing success. Joining us today out of Billings, Montana, welcome to the show, Sandra Gebhardt.
That's great.
Sandra, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
What an incredible intro. Thank you so much for having me. I think I recognized a few of those cowboys with the pistols there.
Yeah. If you've seen the movie Tombstone, you definitely would. We like to have a little fun. We love our movies, and we like to have our clips. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You had an insurance agency at one point, got out of it, and went into marketing. But I mean, you had already been doing that before anyway, right?
Yeah. So I spent all of my 20s kind of in the cowboy world, working within the team roping industry. And came back to Montana and was kind of flailing around from job to job. I'm a horrible employee, you guys. Like, I'm the last person to hire. And people kept telling me that, then they'd hire me. Then I'm like, it sucks here. So I found that I had a natural skill set for selling. I was trying to find a job here in Montana with an insurance agency that was hiring, couldn't really find one. So I just kept showing up at one. And finally he put me on the phone and let me make some sales, and I never really looked back. So I was doing cold calling, and that was cool. And that was fun. I was kind of good at it. But I was like, there's gotta be a better way to maximize my time so I can make more sales, so I can make more money. Right. So it's a simple equation for me. So I got into the digital marketing, started my own agency with my husband. And about 6 months into that agency, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So we had a little baby office. We had already validated with our independent or our captive carrier we were with, but the tumor just completely switched everything, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
We were focused in on him. We were just still pretty freshly married, and had to go down to the Mayo Clinic in Arizona and do a bunch of things here locally. So we just started focusing in on that. Sold the it gets more dramatic, right? Sold the day he went in to get his brain tumor removed. So it was all very dramatic. But I always say we decided to sell the business and keep him. So
that's a good trade, I'd say.
That's what resulted in a whole plethora of jokes of me saying I married a lemon. I was like, is there like a lemon?
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
I'm sorry. I took it too far.
You can't make a brain tumor, but what can you do, right? So
there you go.
We did that, came back, The doctors had told us because of Darren's, it was a prolactinoma tumor, or has some fancy name to it. Because of that sort of tumor, we wouldn't be able to have children. And I've always done what I want. So we found out we were pregnant the week before we went down to get the tumor out.
Oh my gosh.
We've got Gage now, and I knew that's him over my shoulder right there with
nice.
And I knew I wanted to stay home. So Billings, Montana is the next biggest town to us. We live in Roundup, Montana. It's about 45 minutes away. So I knew that I didn't want Gage to spend 10 hours a day driving back and forth, going to daycare and stuff like that. So I hired my mentors and I doubled down and went into digital marketing and haven't really looked back since.
So digital marketing became that avenue to get you to a place where you could stay home, work from home, and still maintain everything. Does your husband still have the insurance agency, or are you guys both just focusing in on just the digital marketing?
My husband actually works up at our airport here in Billings.
Oh, okay.
He's a supervisor for the company that goes and puts the fuel in the plane. Which, fun fact, you fuel up a plane on the wing.
Yeah. I was in the Navy. I worked on the flight deck, and so I kind of knew that all the fuel is in the wings. Yeah. Super interesting. Fun fact though. So we get out of insurance. We start the digital marketing agency. What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned, and what are some of the starting things that you tell to new agents or new clients that you work with?
One of the biggest things I've learned, I actually think one of the coolest trends I've seen, so I'm going to take your question and change it into my own, because again, I do what I want. One of the coolest things I've seen is people running fully digital agencies. So we saw some of these, companies like Geico come in and, 1-800-GEICO will save you 15 minutes. And I think it's a really cool trend of watching these agents start agencies that are fully digital. There's no storefront, that people are able to work from wherever, whenever, and service can happen, and all of that kind of stuff. That really is baffling me. I didn't think that was something that would be possible on a smaller scale outside of a big company doing it. So that's one of the coolest trends I've seen. And, to go back and answer your question, I think that that's one of the biggest things I've learned. I was doing a lot of digital marketing in a traditional insurance office. So I was still doing a lot of the traditional things, taking payments of people walking in and all of those things that we've always done up until March of this year, right? And then now we can't. And some areas like here in Montana, we're pseudo closing back down. They're asking people to work from home and stuff. So it's been really interesting to watch those trends kind of come together and marry together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that trend started before this year, before COVID. I mean, it's just kind of the way that the industry is going. I think, we hear, I don't know what you want to call them, the doomsdayers, right? The people that are like, oh, the industry, the whole insurance industry is going to fail, right? If you only sell personal lines, like you're a dinosaur, you're not going to do anything because everybody's just going to go online. It's going to be fully digital. How much truth is there in that, in your opinion?
I think that people are always, I scream this from every platform I can find. People are always going to do business with people they know, like, and trust. Yes. So you can still create those relationships. So going back to answer the second part of your question, what advice do I give agents right away is to use your social media in lieu of networking. I did it before because I don't like getting up early and having to put makeup on and go to networking events. I was going to, 2 or 3 a day, and you can easily swap that out with using your organic social media. And there's a myth that you can't create a relationship on social media, but I have tons of people that I have true relationships with. Some I've only met once, some I've never met. I've got business partners I've never met that we've gone into business with.
Wow.
And people will still, if you share your life, if you use your unique voice, if you let people glimpse into your day to day, they're going to feel connected with you, even if they can't touch you.
That's incredible. It's funny because yesterday I was sitting there, I was journaling, and coming to this realization that, you know, I've been doing this podcast. This is episode 57. I've been doing this since September. My brother and I have been doing our other podcast, the Business Bros podcast, for 2.5 years. And I still have not like really dived into like creating those kinds of relationships that you're talking about through social media. Like there's this fear almost of overextending myself, of over investing in these types of relationships, or, you know, like there's this question that I'm asking myself: how much time and energy do I want to spend in creating these social media relationships, these relationships through social media? It's not social media relationships, it's relationships that, you know, come from social media. But I mean, you've gotten to the point where you've literally done business ventures with people that you've met through social media.
Oh, exactly. This picture, everything's backwards. This right here with the thank you above it. This is from a training seminar that I went to with my mentor group. And these are, I'm of course the only woman in the picture. We need more gals in the marketing space. But,
come on, ladies.
You know, they're up on my family wall. When we had fires this year and Darren was out, my husband was out fighting fires 20 hours a day. These two of these guys sent my son presents. They sent him fire trucks.
Wow.
Because they knew his dad was out fighting fire and it was scary. And
yeah.
So we have, you can create a real relationship, or real referral partners, real true networking people. And if you think about it, when you go to a networking event, how deep do you get with these people? It's not like you're inviting them over to dinner, right? It's still a surface level relationship to a point. Mm-hmm. So you can do the same thing through Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, where you can really create these relationships the same as you would at a BNI meeting, or a chamber meeting, or all these other places that you have to go. And actually the conversation, in my opinion, and the people I've coached with, it's easier to get the conversation started, because the networking events can feel a lot like the lunchroom, right? You're like, okay, well, the cool kids over there, and they're the ones I want to do business with. So how do I get over there? But
without being awkward.
Yeah. If you do it through social media, it's easy. And there's just a really simple way that you can do it, just in being authentic. So I do like to throw a caveat out, you guys that are listening to me. That does not mean if you are in a fight with your husband, if you're in a fight with your girlfriend, if you are pissed off at the world, that doesn't mean you need to share that. Right? So you don't need to air your dirty laundry, but you do need to let people glimpse into your life. So I don't post a picture if my living room is a complete mess, unless that's the message of my picture.
Right.
Hey, moms, can you feel me? And I've got toys up to the ceiling, right? That's different. But to just post your garbage and your craziness, you don't want to do that either. So the way I say to do the organic social media marketing is the same way you would do networking. So if you're going to walk up to somebody, you can be like, hey, I saw Jimmy won his soccer game. Congratulations to the whole family, because the whole family is a big part of kids sports, right? So you want to start conversations the same way you would if you were networking with somebody face to face, but do it through your Facebook and through your social media platforms.
Right, because you're not going to walk up to somebody and be like, oh, by the way, my wife cheated on me this week. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Or I have a business opportunity for you. No, you don't do that either, right? But people slide into DMs all the time. I had somebody right before this call, they're like, hey, I saw final expense leads. I'm like, did you even look at my profile? First of all, that's a terrible sales pitch. And second of all, I'm not even your market.
So I want to pivot something. You mentioned something about when your message is directed to moms. You started something recently that is directed to moms in insurance, or moms in marketing?
Insurance
okay.
Specifically.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I've worked, like I said, I've worked with hundreds of insurance agents. I've done the lead generation side of things. I started into consulting, and I find the consulting to be just my really my zone of genius. And it happened about a few weeks ago. My son, Gage, has always rubbed my cheek to fall asleep. And it's just the cutest thing ever.
Adorable. Yeah.
And he was laying down one day and he started rubbing his own cheek. And I was like, oh no. Like, that's the first time that I really, like, I've always celebrated his milestones. Like, I expect him to grow up.
Mhm.
That was the first time where I was like, oh man, like,
My heart.
like you can feel it in your bones.
Oh,
And then I really started kind of looking around, and I was like, I'm always like, hold on, mom's got a call, or and I'm always like putting him off, or he'll pick my cell phone up and he'll start typing an email. Like, he's not even trying to play a game, because I don't let him play games on my phone because I'm mean. And I'm like, man, Gage is emulating everything I do, and it's all work. So I was like, this isn't going to work. I got with my mentors, and I was like, I feel like I did this so I could spend more time with Gage, who the Mayo Clinic calls the miracle baby. And
Yes.
and it's not, I wasn't fulfilled.
Right.
And so I changed
There's
everything.
a disconnect there for sure.
Yeah. And I started taking Tuesdays off. And when we had our first couple Tuesdays, I was like, all women can do this. And that balance. And I really got focused in on it. And I really started studying and talking to other people and saying, are you guys feeling this too? Or is it just, because you think it's just you, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
church or something, you're like, right?
Yeah.
So I really got vulnerable with my audience, with my friends, with people, with other agents I work with. And I said, are you guys feeling this? And we're drowning in it. We're drowning in what I'm calling the modern mom guilt, where if you're at business and you're doing your business stuff, you have the guilt that you're not with your family. And when you're with your family, you've got the guilt that you're not with your business. And there's no end to it. And meanwhile, the laundry's piling up. The laundry never stops, right? Even in quarantine, I'm like, stop changing clothes. Why? There's so much laundry.
Just keep wearing pajamas. Come on, people.
So I kind of, through all of these discoveries in my own life, the Binding Authority program was born out of this, and we launched it, and just the amount of women that are coming in that are like, girl, the laundry never stops, and the guilt never stops, and I'm just drowning in this. It really just kind of, I'm heartbroken for all of us. I'm excited for all of us, because there's so many things that we can do to maximize on our time and bring both, SOPs into our business and our home. Like I'd mentioned to you, I have a robot vacuum, and it's like the best thing ever, because I have to vacuum every day. So there's so many ways that we can maximize our time, and not having to go to networking events, but rather use digital media, automations for groceries and for reaching out to clients. There's just so many things we can use. And sometimes we just need that roadmap to be able to find what the best tools for us are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that I wanted to ask you was, do you think, I mean, you've been working from home since before the pandemic. So maybe you didn't feel it as much, but do you think that moms and women are feeling that imbalance more now that a lot of people are working from home?
I don't think so. I think it's being more publicly recognized. There wasn't an earthquake here. That was my table. It's being more publicly recognized. And that's one of the things, my nephew and I call them COVID blessings, trying to find the positive in all of this mess. And I think that was one of the hashtag COVID blessings, is that the world realized that it's really hard to balance your kids' care and work. And how many dads have we seen with memes that are like, go ask your mom, because it's plastered on their door, right? Because they're trying to make calls, and now all of a sudden we have people on business calls with kids in their lap. So I don't think that it's that we're feeling it more. I don't think that we're feeling it. I think people are seeing it, because other men are experiencing it now, and it's starting to be like working from home. And then also a lot of the schooling has fallen back on mom, right?
Yeah.
So now mom's running a business and trying to get the schooling done. So there is more, but there's always never less for us anyway. So I think we're good at adapting.
Huge shout out.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Huge shout out to moms everywhere. I mean, it's just, where would we be without them? I really, I wonder if if there is a shift that's happening, what do you think the long-term effects are going to be with all of this? Like, do you think that we are going to continue to be an industry that works from home, or do you think that insurance agents are going to get back to the office at some point?
I think it's going to be the same split. The people that do not want to embrace social media, don't want to embrace the new technologies that are available to us, they're going to stay stuck in what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're kind of hustling, they're grinding through, they're very stressed. And they'll be able to go back into their office at some point and then start going back to their networking events and stuff. What I see as the benefit is, like a lot of my students I work with, they're probably likely to work from home more because they're seeing that they can pick up, even if you can pick up 2 more hours a week with your kid on a Monday through Friday, that's 10 hours, you guys.
Yeah.
We don't have them for that long. We only have them for 18 years. Really, I mean, you only have them until they're like 12. And then they're kind of done with you for a minute, and then they come back right? Like,
they come back in adulthood.
Yeah. So I think even just being able to grab a couple hours a day, you could do a craft, or you could do a movie time, or you could build more memories. And that's what I think people are going to attach to in this being able to work remotely section of life. Now, some people can't focus at home. They, it just isn't working for them. And that's okay too. But I would hope that insurance agencies would start embracing, like I said, the different technologies that are out there to help them ease their time. So maybe they have a 6-hour work day, because I only know one guy, Joe Frazier Campert, that said when he was little, I want to be an insurance agent. That's what he went to on like Hero Day. He was an insurance agent. He wanted to be dad. Other than that, the rest of us got into the business for freedom, to be able to have your time, to be able to have all of those things that come with freedom and a good place to make money, right? So, but on the flip side, if everything we do is staying with the traditional model with the suit and tie, and we have to be there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and we take money in the office, and we only do quotes with people if we have them physically in the office, that has worked for a long time, but you're handcuffing your family and your freedom to run the business the way that it's traditionally been ran.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
My husband.
There you go. But no, you're absolutely right, and it is. I think you're right about the trend. It's the same people who will continue to work in offices and have a resistance towards taking their agency digital are the same people that aren't keeping up with the technologies that are available to us today. Can you tell me a little bit about the technologies that you use, like some of the programs, some of the systems that you use to help with those automations?
Yes, we're going to talk about PNC specifically in these examples. So
sure.
Looking at a PNC office, the very first things you can do is start leaning into your organic social media, right? Start thinking about social media is a tool to make money. That is what if you're a business owner, that's how you should be using it. Not as to talk to your aunt or, catch up with other people. That's a good byproduct of it. But if you think about it as the networking tool that it is, you can really make a huge impact on your business. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I know a lot of agents that are killing it on TikTok. So start using those, and they're free. When we're talking about automation for your office, I would look at Better Agency all day long. It's pre-written. It's ready to go. Anytime you bring anything new into your office, whether it's using Facebook to replace networking, or you bring an automation tool in, there's going to be a learning curve. But check out Better Agency. It's all written. It's done by insurance agents for insurance agents. And what that system does is when you have a lead come in, you can be getting a pedicure. I'm talking about instead of being at the office, you could get a pedicure. Right.
And then as soon as that lead comes in,
they're in the chair, they get a text message, and then you text them back, and it's all done that way, right? Email, you can still call them, But if you're actually focusing on sales conversations, then you're not spending all your time prospecting.
Right.
And that prospecting time is what really is our time suck. So you can take that away using something like a Better Agency to get all of that stuff going. So those are the two things that I focus on, that agents can focus on right now. You can bring a good, robust automation system in. You can buy leads. And every agent I talk to is like, I need more leads. I need better leads. My lead provider sucks. I challenge you guys all, because it rarely ever is the lead provider. It's the systems that you have in place to work with the lead provider. If you are planning on calling every single lead individually, good luck getting them. You haven't been able to get me on the phone all day. I've been on calls back to back to back. Mm-hmm. So if I'm your ideal client, and I did fill out a lead form because I like to do things digitally, right? Think about that. You're asking people that filled out something on the internet to get on the phone with you. When was the last time you got your teenager on the phone? When was the last time you got your best friend on the phone? Right? I want to talk to my best friend, and I can't hardly ever get a hold of her, and she can't hardly ever get a hold of me.
Yep.
So you have to reach out to people the way that they want to be reached out to. Now, if they're calling your office and then you try to send them a text, that doesn't align either.
Right.
But that's a really big thing there. And the other thing with bringing in an automation is, again, just remembering that people are people and people are busy. You know, even when we're locked down, we still have to figure out how to get the groceries delivered. We have to figure out how to get the kids, you know, from the morning to the evening and educated and all of that other stuff. Plus, on our businesses, we don't have time to pick up the phone every time it rings. So if you're still using that system, it's not going to work. So an automation is the first big thing you can bring in to really make your office work smoothly.
Today, Junior!
And Better Agency is an awesome tool for that.
It truly is.
Awesome. All right, I've got two last questions for you. The first is, you've been doing this for quite some time. You've been in the digital marketing space. You built your agency. You did all these different things. What are some of your most influential mentors, books, or podcasts?
Mentors, hands down, Rob Sakell and Bobby Stocks. They have changed the game, right? The guy that works with them is like, stop saying game changer. Can't. That's what they did. They completely changed my life. Actually,
I think he's wonderful.
There's Bobby and his team flew down here. He did a documentary. So there's a documentary with a bunch of us on there saying the same thing. It was kind of cool to be in a documentary. Books, one of my favorite books is Never Split the Difference. And that specifically helps everybody, but women too, because we are not traditionally the best at negotiations.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's really, really helped me stand my ground and figure out what I'm going to say before I'm going to say it. Podcast, well, this one. It's my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
And if I'm not listening,
he ain't lying.
I might be listening to my own Binding Authority on iTunes.
There you go. Binding Authority on iTunes. Absolutely.
But another absolutely incredible podcast that I love is Underdog Empowerment with Zachary Babcock.
Nice.
It's a solid one. He's got a really cool story, and he really helps you kind of feel, if you ever felt like you're an underdog before, that's where you need to be.
Awesome. Thank you. Last question is, how can people get in touch with you if they want to work with you, if they want to be coached by you, if they want to get their digital marketing off the ground and rocking and rolling?
So I'm on all the social media platforms. The easiest way to get me is on Facebook. Shoot me a message on Facebook, or you can go to my website, sandragebhardt.com.
All right. Perfect. Well, Sandra, thank you so much for joining us here today. This has been a really cool learning experience. I feel like I definitely have learned quite a bit from you. Things that I can take forward is definitely the automations. I'm going to look into Better Agency. I've seen it running around. What's the Facebook group? The name of the Facebook group that David Denning.
That's Marketing for Insurance Agents.
That's the one. Marketing for Insurance Agents. And I know that name has been thrown around there, so it's definitely something for me to look into. I wholly believe in automations too, and there's so many that I have yet to figure out. So there's just
Yep.
there's a lot that goes into it, and I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface. So looking forward to digging more into that. Thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, everybody else, thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. And if you want to be a guest, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest. And don't forget to follow me on all social media. That's all we've got for you all today. Thank you so much. You rock my socks. You have my heart. And you
Have a nice day!
Thank you for tuning in to the Insurance Bro Show. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you're an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit www.pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com.